Hi, this is Dennis Snipe, host of the thought-provoking, solution-oriented talk show, daring to make a difference in our communities, entitled FocusTalk. And I'm looking for you to be the next featured guest on FocusTalk. If you're an entrepreneur, an author, community-based organization, artist, or if you're simply daring to make a difference in your community, I need to hear from you. Here's what I need you to do. Send an email to dennis@dennissnipe.com with your name, brief description of what you do, contact number, and why you should be a guest on Focus Talk. I look forward to hearing from you soon. In the meantime, please continue to stay focused.
Now, once you got the volume, then I want you to click on.
Okay. So I click it now?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Back when I was younger, black kid raised in the hood. Yeah, my stomach filled with hunger, standing out, misunderstood. I was judged by my appearances, not my scheduled adherences. I was there for everyone, daring to make a difference. Yeah, I was on my Dennis Snipe, focused so we could talk about our differences in life. A young boy growing to a better man, even when all seemed hopeless. I stayed focused and never let anybody get me down. Start a conversation with them and turn perception around. And now that I'm grown, I throw all these life lessons in songs and converse with people to get along. Life is what you make it, so make your life great. I double dare you to put food up on your plate, and we can all feast and celebrate. Let me quote you something that I heard a wise man say. If you can't be a highway, then be a trail. If you can't be the sun, then be a star. Because it isn't by size that you win or fail, but be the best at whatever you are. If you can't be a highway, then be a trail. If you can't be the sun, then be a star. Because it isn't by size that you win or fail, but be the best at whatever you are. And stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused.
Alright, that's it, bro. It's just gonna kind of just trail off from there. What you think?
I'm beyond words, dude.
Simple by stuff.
That's all right. Thank you. That's real high. Okay.
Back when I was younger, black kid raised in the hood. Yeah, my stomach filled with hunger, standing out, misunderstood. I was judged by my appearances, not my scheduled adherences. I was there for everyone, daring to make a difference. Yeah, I was on my Dennis Snipe, focused so we could talk about our differences in life. A young boy growing to a better man, even when all seemed hopeless. I stayed focused and never let anybody get me down. Start a conversation with them and turn perception around. And now that I'm grown, I throw all these life lessons in songs and converse with people to get along. Life is what you make it, so make your life great. I double dare you to put food up on your plate, and we can all feast and celebrate. Let me quote you something that I heard a wise man say. If you can't be a highway, then be a trail. If you can't be the sun, then be a star. Because it isn't by size that you win or fail, but be the best at whatever you are. If you can't be a highway, then be a trail. If you can't be the sun, then be a star. Because it isn't by size that you win or fail, but be the best at whatever you are. And stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused.
Wow, I'm beyond words. I'm beyond words. All right. Wow.
So my
The appearance says everything that it needs to say. So, you know, Yeah. Sometimes the emotion and the expression says more than what words can say.
Yeah. Enough said. Enough said.
You're in tune to Chicago's most popular college music radio station. 89.3 is WKKC. This is Focus Talk, the thought-provoking, solution-oriented talk show daring to make a difference in our communities. We're talking on a regular basis because the answers really matter. What are we talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're talking about politics, religion, personal development, education, music, history, and then from time to time, we are spotlighting positive people who are doing positive things right here in the Inglewood community throughout Chicagoland, as well as the entire nation. I'm your host, Dennis Snipe. Joining me today in the studio is MC ILLYT. How are you today, sir?
I'm good, Dennis, and great to be on the show.
Good. Thank you so very much. You know, I'm still riding on cloud 9 because coming in, I had an opportunity, and this is the audience's first opportunity of listening to our brand new intro entitled Stay Focused that you created. Now, needless to say, you already know that music has an incredible way of changing our direction, giving us inspiration, bringing back memories from the past. Better yet, George Daniels said something. I interviewed him years ago, and I'm sure you can possibly agree with this. And he said that, man, I don't sell music. I sell memories. Because when people come into my store and they ask for a song, the Four Tops, when they were in high school, it takes them back to where they were at that particular time. And I can't agree with him anymore. So it says a whole lot as far as the intro is concerned. We're going to talk about that. But first, let's talk a little bit about who you are and what you do and what makes you such an incredible MC.
Again, thanks for having me, Dennis. It's great to be here amongst everyone else that has appeared on the show and left a good vibe. I hope to do the same.
Oh, definitely.
And as we speak about who I am an artist, but first and foremost, I'm a producer,
okay,
and a developer of the music craft within Chicago. Been doing this for better half of 2 decades,
okay,
about 96. And I've worked with a lot of major industry talent as well as independent industry talent and localized industry talent. And whether it's developing them or it is helping find a path for them within music itself. So not just limited to rap per se or hip hop per se. Some people just want to learn to play a piano. Some people just want to know, well, why is music notes even invented? You know, knowledge based, right?
Right.
So it's just an avenue to help others develop a respect for what music truly is and how it actually unites all of us as a people. And that's just something that I've been doing for a long time, and I'm still a student as well.
Now, let's get one thing off of the books immediately. Can you explain to me the difference between an MC, a rapper, a lyricist, and some of the other titles that go with individuals who are in that particular industry?
So, an MC means master of ceremony, right? Okay. That was a person coming from an era of hip hop, early 80s, maybe late 70s, that will show up at a park or a party. They would grab the microphone and they would get the crowd into what they were doing, right? So they controlled the crowd. So master of ceremony, a lot of people strive in early rap to be MCs. They want to get on stage and they want the whole crowd to participate in whatever it was that they were doing, right? And it's changed over the years. A lot of people get on stage and there's really no crowd participation whatsoever. They just go up there, do whatever it is they came to do, and they leave, right? So that steps into the rapper category. A rapper is just really someone that knows how to rhyme, doesn't necessarily have a message, doesn't have anything. Even though some people say, well, there's a message in everything. True.
but that doesn't mean that it's actually a message, right? So you can make a song talking about, you know, air, the molecules of air. That's a subject matter, right? And it may go deep. But then you have a person that can make a song talking about the same thing, air, and just say, I breathe it. We all do. That's not really any subject there, right?
Okay.
So that's a rapper, a person that just blurts out something. It is what it is. I really just do it because I know how to rhyme the words, right? ABC type of thing. And then there's the lyricist. That's the person that's taking that subject of air and telling you how H2O plays a process and how we breathe that oxygen, and telling you how those molecule structures came about to be and how we can't exist without it, and giving a whole, you know, example of what air is to all life forms on the planet and breaking it down in a rhythmic and rhyming way.
Okay.
So that's
All
your
right.
lyricist. That's your person that's going to go in depth with you and take your mind to other places.
Okay, now that clears it up greatly for me. Now, since we're in that particular area, I want to talk a little bit about the state of hip hop,
Okay.
based on where we are now.
Okay.
And with the Lil Waynes and all of the other brothers who are participating in the industry now.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your take.
So, you know, when we talk about the subject of rap as a whole, where it came from, hopefully where it may go, we have to mention there are a few people that are left in the industry that still are showing that there's talent there. There's a rhyme and reason behind why it's so powerful, why the youth grab onto it, why it can generate billions of dollars across the entire world, why almost every form of entertainment has to have hip-hop or rap music in some
shape,
way,
form,
some
fashion, yeah.
tied to it.
Okay.
Right? Whether it's movies, TV shows, commercials, Valtrex, adult entertainment, whatever it is, it has to have some form of rap music tied to it. That's the only music that is that powerful. You don't see that with rock. You don't see it with country. You don't see it as much with pop anymore. Strictly everything is hip hop. That tells you something. And not only because the youth gravitate towards it, but maybe because it allows the people that are not in their youth anymore to feel youthful, right? So
Right.
it has some type of energy to it that other music platforms just do not.
But needless to say, it has changed dramatically
Yes, it
from
has.
the late 60s, early 70s
Yes.
to where we are now.
Okay.
In your opinion, what happened?
So let's take it back to, well, first let me say this. Yesterday, I went to the mosque and there was Minister Jeffrey was his name, and he gave a great sermon on issues dealing with black people and dealing with our where we are right now. We don't really support black people in black business. How we are incarcerated, and it's more or less related to slavery and what's going on with that. And he talked about, you know, us being better unionized with each other. So when I think about that, I correlate that to rap music, right?
Okay.
I correlate it to the early 70s when it started. When it started, it was more or less a something that happened at a party. Everybody gathered around, people were having a good time. There was music playing, and somebody got up there to be an MC, and there was a DJ that was doing the music, and everyone's having a good time, and that MC would say something to help the crowd participate with each other and himself, right? So it progressively moves into the 80s, and now it's not about the party no more, but it's about let's say something, right? So you have the influence of a person like KRS-One saying, okay, well, we got this microphone and we had this platform. Let me start teaching people. Let me teach our people about where we come from, or, you know, the struggles that we are facing. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, at the same token, you have the West Coast coming into their own form of hip hop and speaking about the gangsterism portion of it in the black community, and police brutality and things of that nature.
So now that was illustrated by NWA.
Correct.
Okay.
So you have a group like NWA, which is one of my all-time favorite groups. In all actuality, between Too Short, KRS-One, and NWA, that's what really made me want to get into music. Right?
So now, do you agree that they were the precedent as far as the, for lack of a better definition, the breach in hip hop where it became different? Because you have the platform of KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions. Then you come to Eazy-E and Ice Cube.
So
and
that's a good question, right? Now, you take a person like me. I was born in the projects on 35th and Federal. Right. I'm 5 years old, maybe a year older than that when I seen my first murder. Looking out the window, right? So maybe my mind particularly gravitated towards NWA for what they were saying because of what I seen at that young age. Now, when you talk about people like KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions, and them, I think what it is when you had Curtis Blow come out with rap, it was too commercial at the time, right?
What? These are the breaks. It's too commercial.
These are the white people were able to get into it fairly quickly. Right?
So is that a bad thing?
Now,
though,
was it a bad thing? It wasn't necessarily a bad thing because it gave something new in the form of music for that people didn't hear of before. It made them familiar. What is this, right? I'm not sure if I like it, but I still want to hear it. Then when you have
I'm listening to the music,
exactly,
not necessarily the message.
Exactly. So then you have KRS-One with the message. He comes out saying something. This is off the radar. White people not hearing this, but our people are hearing this. This is where it matters. Then you have NWA, another group off the radar, but black people, brown people are hearing this, right? And the message is being developed across the community now, and it's spreading city to city, and they're becoming popular in this, right? Now the rap form is really changing as you go into the late 80s because of people like EPMD and Rakim come into play, and the diversity starts coming into play because you have abstract groups like Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul and all of them.
But now, during that entire evolution, you've got people like Tipper Gore who's saying, "Oh my God, they're actually saying this, and my babies are listening to it."
Yes.
But then you have individuals who are living it, saying, "Well, whether you're living with your blinders on or off, this is what's happening on a regular basis."
Correct.
And so now you have the influx of children from that particular community now infusing themselves into our reality that they have no awareness of.
So let's first get this out the way. Music is influential. Period.
Most
no
definitely.
matter what genre it is,
right.
It is influential, right? So when people listen to gangster rap, a certain portion of the people out there listening will understand that, you know, it's from a perspective, it's just good music. I don't care to be like it, but I like it, right?
It's entertainment.
But then there's a small portion that want to be like what it is that they hear. Now, you have certain people that say, well, and this is where it gets tricky, right? This is where it gets tricky. When you have no one to tell you what is the difference between reality and fantasy, what is the difference between right and wrong, and you are a child, you can be very influenced very easily. That's how come parents say choose your friends wisely, right?
So you're saying that I need a guardian in order to listen to what's being put out into on the airwaves, because I can't make this decision on my own based on my predisposition?
You don't need a guardian more or less than you need common sense. And there are people that have a lack of common sense, right? So when we say something like that, you got to realize as when artists say I'm not a role model, right? And we'll take it back. I heard it in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. It's always an artist yelling how they're not a role model, and it's usually the artist selling the most records, doing the most damage.
But is that basically a disclaimer because I don't want to be responsible for what it is that I'm doing?
And you got to look at it like this: if you're not a role model, why are you selling liquor or advertising liquor? Evidently,
to get paid.
To get paid, but evidently, there's a certain fan base that will buy it based off of you liking it, right? If I wear the latest Jordans and I say these Jordans is hot, or the latest Yeezys, these Yeezys is hot, there's a certain part of the population that's going to go with my word because they want to be just as trendy as I am, right? That's the influential part.
Now, here's the bigger picture, because based on how I'm looking at it, oh, mommy, daddy, I want this. And then the parents basically say, no, you can't have that because that's not for a child. So basically what I'm getting at, we'll just get straight to the point. Isn't that more of the parent's responsibility as to how it is that you're raising your child as opposed to me and what I'm trying to do as a businessman?
So this is what you just said, sheds the light on it. Your early comment was, should somebody tell them what to listen to?
Right.
How can somebody tell them what to listen to when almost all the parents aren't at home? My mother was not at home when I was raised. I never knew my father. So automatically I'm in a single parent home, right? When you look at a perspective like that and your child is at home listening to what he or she is listening to, and the mother is at work all day or all night working 2 jobs to try to keep food on the table, who's there to actually influence you or tell you what's right from wrong when you're listening to it, right? So that's where kids today, yesterday, and the times before can be influenced by what they hear. Now and that's a small amount, that's a small percentage, because even though I didn't have my mother in my life a lot as a child, she still instilled in me what was right and wrong. So when I was listening to NWA at 6 or 7, I still knew that I'm not supposed to be cursing. I'm not supposed to be, you know what I mean? So now
based on what your mother had taught you.
Based on what she taught me, right? Now there are a portion of kids that don't understand that, and the glamorous life looks like the glamorous life. I want that. I'm gonna go out and get that, right? And this is where the breakdown in community comes from. So hip hop has to hold some type of responsibility when it comes to that, right? So we fast forward all the way from the 80s, 90s to now. Or let's stop in the mid 90s.
Now, I need to stop you right there, because what happened, we've gotten engulfed in the conversation itself, and we've ran out of time. So if you can do this for me, actually, can you do 2 things? Can you hang around?
Yes.
And we're gonna bring you back, and we're gonna talk a little bit more. But give me your contact information really quickly, so that individuals can look out for you, know how to get in contact with you, and give me some closing words. You got 15 seconds.
All right. ILLYT@gmail.com. If you want to reach out to me, I am available. If you want to know about music, production, mixing, things of that nature, I'll be happy to help provide you with some information or help you get your project off the ground. And as far as some parting words, I'll just tell a person or everybody out there, you can't squeeze sugar out of a lemon. When I say that, it basically means, be truthful, because a lie can come back to haunt you. And on top of all of that, just be who you are. Don't fake the funk. A lemon can't be sweet and sugar can't be sour.
All right, words to live by. You're in tune to Chicago's most popular college music radio station, 89.3 WKKC.
You're watching Focus Talk TV with your host, Dennis Snipe.